Hey everyone, Pat Mesiti here. We're having a few problems today with our setup here, and I'm just going to try and get it all sorted for you. We had a bit of a tumble and a toss and all kinds of things, but we will get it right. And we'll just wait for some others to join us. And let me get this camera right. Hey Paul, good to see you here. Hey, why don't you let people know that we're on, we're back on, and we're ready to roll today. Back on and ready to roll. And look, let me just say this right up front. There's a coming economic storm, a major one. If you think we're in one right now, inflation is at a 32-year high in this country. And believe you me, it's not going to get any better. It is not going to get any better. And sadly, most people, what they're doing is sticking their head in the sand and pretending nothing's going on, or their financial strategy is hope, wish, and pray. Listen to me very carefully. Our country, and the countries of the earth have wasted so much money, trying to trace us, this, that. I mean, today they've shut down the app, and we are seeing devastation on an economic scale such as never been seen before. I know when I look at history repeats itself. And there have been 5 things and listen to me very carefully, there have been 5 things that have destroyed nations. Number 1, gambling and greed. This country is obsessed with gambling and greed. Do you think the water houses and all those sports bets things on that they're trying to get you on your phone were built there to get you rich? I don't think so. Gambling and greed. Number 2, apathy towards God. Need I say any more about that? Number 3, immorality. You can't turn on the TV. The activism and the agendas are out there by people trying to infiltrate the minds of children with all kinds of evil that is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we've got gambling and greed. We've got apathy towards God. We've got the immoral behavior. But number 4, listen to this one. Political and economic corruption. Political and economic corruption. Is there political and political corruption in government? I mean, good Lord, what just happened the other day to Donald Trump, and what's happening in this country with the agendas out there? And number 5, occultism, the worship of Baal, the worship of all this kind of stuff that is totally godless and evil, I might add. And I'm telling you that everything that can be shaken economically will be shaken. But there's good news as well, and I'll get to that in a minute. If you look at the agenda of the likes of the World Health Organization and the World Economic Forum, these governments right now, and you all know that, are pushing an agenda based on your financial destruction. Now, not the elites, but you, the average everyday person, the average everyday Australian. And we can't sit there twiddling our thumbs or sucking our thumbs or crying the blues. We've got to get active. And we've got to get active and realize that this is a war on an economic level, a spiritual level, a social level, a racial level, and people like Albanese, people like the Dan Andrews and the Penny Wongs of our world keep rubbing salt in the wounds, and the activists out there. We did not elect government officials to become activists. We elected them to lead us. And sadly, most people just sticking their head in the sand, or Christians are sticking their brain in a pickle jar saying reserved until Jesus comes back. But you've got to take action on it, guys. And as I've said for the last 3 years here, the reason why I'm able to say and do what I do is because we are not reliant on the government. We're not controlled by a job system. We've got our financial independence. Now listen to me, I put these events on, and yes, there will be some teaching there, and there will be someone that will be promoting their education. And by the way, if you don't like that, don't comment on here, because I'll block you and delete you. Just don't show up. But those of you out there, and there's a lot of great people out there, that you want to do something about your financial world, join me next Wednesday. My great friend Sean, when all this mess hit a couple of years ago, I had a small investment. And listen, you may be a new person. You may be someone who doesn't know anything about any of this stuff. That's okay, you can learn. I didn't know either. But he took a small investment and he said, watch what I'm going to do with this. Within 24, 48 hours, he turned it into $25,000. Now, I'm not a gambler. I don't like gambling. But I do understand the concept of investing. And many of us don't. But you need to, folks. You need to. You cannot afford to be ignorant in these times of the enemy's attacks and devices. And we've got to be smarter. We've got to be able to sow and reap. Listen to me very carefully. We've got to be able to sow and reap. You know, people come up with excuses. Oh, what happens if they tear down the internet? Or what happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? I need to occupy until he comes. I've got to occupy. Are you hearing me? We need to occupy. We've got to do what we can do. So join me next Wednesday. Now, while I'm at it, there's a couple of idiots out there. And yesterday, I was out planning for our future rallies that we're doing. We're going to be starting at Bow Desert on the 18th of September. Then we're going to be going right across the country, a bit at a time, Gold Coast and Harvey Bay and various places. So I posted a photo of myself and my great friends, Daniel Parkia and Pastor Marshall Gray. Two awesome pastors. And Marshall or the boys, they were doing their, hang loose sign. And idiots out there, you idiots, I want to name you. You're putting up there that, watch those Masonic symbols. You are an idiot. Listen, if you're an idiot like that, get off my Facebook. No one's into satanic rituals and Freemasons. You are idiots. You are fools. Stop advertising your stupidity. Many of you out there, listen to me, that go on about this satanic, you wouldn't know a devil if you saw it. Have you ever cast out a devil? Have you ever rebuked a demon spirit? I bet you haven't. You'd be pooping your pants. And you're sitting there making judgment on a couple of men of God and me over a couple of symbols. I got people say, these symbols, these hands. What are you? What are you? And then others of you that engage in that nonsense, I'll tell you what, not only will I block and delete you, I'll name you. So people can see the foolish idiots that you actually are. You're super spooks. You're nutcases. Get off my social media and stop advertising your stupidity. Oh, Pat, you should just ignore them. No, I'm not going to ignore them any more than I'm going to ignore the evil and the wokeness out there. These people do more harm than good. And some of you dare to call yourself believers. You're a ning-nong. Stop that nonsense. If I do this, I'm not a Freemason. If I do that, I'll tell you what, I want to give you, some of you, a hand signal. It's half a peace sign, actually. But I won't do it. That's what some of you deserve. Now, not all of you, bear with me. 98% of you are wonderful, amazing. But if you see some idiot doing that on my social media, would you tell them to just buzz off, please? Unbelievable. They do nothing for the cause of freedom and the gospel. Ning-nongs, idiots, fools. We used to have the village idiot. Now the buggers are gone on social media and Facebook. And I look at some of them and what they got following them. They got 2 cats, 3 dogs and a flea following them. Come on, folks. Time to get serious here. Now, I know I've vented on that and I'll probably upset a whole bunch of you, but we've got serious stuff going on here and people are worried about a hang loose symbol or, it's a satanic rock symbol. Get over yourself. Accusing men of God of this nonsense. Shame on you. We're trying to plan for revival and the best you can come up with is some podung symbol stuff. Anyway, on other news, Monday we're going to have a very, very special session with Alexandra Marshall from Spectator magazine, and we're going to be exposing this climate nonsense. Monday, live here with Alexandra Marshall. You do not want to miss that. I'm telling you, it's going to be a paint peeler. Alexandra is a great writer, a great thinker, one of our geniuses in this country who sees through all the BS that's out there. So, folks, hey, join me Wednesday. This is going to be, our economies are crumbling, but that doesn't mean that you have to crumble. Now, listen to me very carefully. Whether the market goes up, down, or sideways, you can increase and you can find a return, but you got to know how. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is broke. Ignorance is painful. Come on, guys, get on board. What's it going to cost you to be on there an hour and a half and just learn? If you don't like something that's said, just, you know what? Take the good bits, be part of it. Come on, give us 90 minutes, 2 hours to make the rest of your life the best of your life. And while we're at it, keep these idiots off my social media. Would you help me with that? God bless you, everyone. Bye-bye.